Gather cooking show. My name is Jennifer Hoyt-Lawley, and recently I have written and self-published a cookbook called Hunt and Gather. So Hunt and Gather, this book, it's a story about a girl who was born a carnivore, who became a hunter and a chemist, evolved into a brainiac, and was born again. So I started writing this cookbook really about 10 years ago, and I've always had a love of food, and I've photographed all of the foods wherever I've gone, and I started to put this cookbook together with lots of photos of my own foods. Again, I kind of went through sort of a hard time in my life, and then I found God, and I wanted to write this book because I wanted to focus on all things positive. One of the hurdles that I was up against is that I started to put it together and thought this is going to be easy. I will just look through all the photographs I have, put the recipes together with it, and write it. And it turns out none of the photos were good. I bought the right camera, and since I don't really know what I'm doing, I took about 1,000 shots per photo, where a real photographer could have done it in about 3. But that's okay. The answer in my head is never no, it's how. God will always find a way to get things done that He wants out. I feel that there's a message in this book that I wanted to get across to people. And again, it's more God has perfect timing. So even though I wanted to do this book 10 years ago, this is the book that He wanted me to do now. I was not a hunter when I met my husband. In fact, I did not like him going hunting all weekend, every weekend. I couldn't understand what he liked about it. When he asked me to start hunting and to get into archery, I had no interest. So one weekend he came home with a pink bow, handed it to me and said, "Look, just give this a try. Give it a shot." The second that I shot that bow, I felt like Katniss. I had fun with it. But when I started archery, I didn't actually ever think I would get into a tree stand and hunt, because again, it's not so much that I have a problem eating meat. I've always been a carnivore, but I did not know that I would enjoy hunting. My first time in a tree stand, I knew that I was with God. This was, it was an experience that has changed me forever. But my hunting doesn't have to be your hunting. It could be whatever makes you happy. But when I got into that tree stand, I have what some people would consider a semi-stressful job. I'm president of a nanotechnology company. When I sat in that tree stand, though, I looked around, and that first hunt, all I saw were squirrels, but I could not have been happier. I just knew something special was happening. It's a place where I can sit, meditate, and think. Sometimes it brings me so much joy. I feel that my heart's going to explode when I think about recipes, think about my friends. And what I found really, I think, most special about this book is that when I got in the stand and stopped texting and really started praying, I found that God blessed me when I started to finally think of others. And with this book, I'm just so pleased to be able to share it with my best friend, Susan. So when I told Susan about the book, she loved the idea of the Christian concept. But one of the things about Susan and most of my friends, or a lot of them, are that they're either vegans or vegetarians. What sort of brought you, or what do you like about the book in terms of it being an actual cookbook, not just a Christian cookbook?
Well, there were a lot of things when Jen first told me about her ideas about writing a cookbook, and then everything I knew of everything that had kind of gone on in her life. And I thought that the overall concept was really exciting because, as she said, with the faith idea and mixing this with cooking and a healthy lifestyle, and then also love, this idea that love goes into cooking, the love of God, and hunting, something that she and her husband Chris were really interested in. I loved those ideas because I thought it could reach a lot of women. Jen is someone who's really successful in her career and does so many different things really well. I think that it's important to also know that people can overcome tough times through faith, and she set off to do this cookbook and to show her love of cooking, and I was really excited about that. I wasn't thrilled about the idea of the hunting initially, of course, because I'm not a big hunter. I know very little about it. I love animals. As she said, at the time I was vegetarian. I had just come off of a 2-year vegan period, and I thought, how is all of this going to work out? And the more we talked about it, and she was telling me her ideas about faith and what's in the Bible about hunting, and just her straight up fantastic ideas of what to do with this meat that you hunt and how to use it and the practical ways of using it. I thought it was a really great idea. And so then once I actually got my hands on the first recipes that she wrote in Hunt and Gather, I was really excited because there's so many things in there that are plant-based and so healthy. So many things that are not just about meat in the cookbook that I really got into. And so many of these recipes, it just taught me a lot more about making hearty stews and fun recipes and smoothies. Everything that I already wanted to be able to make was in this cookbook. And so I thought that was really interesting because you know, when you hear Hunt and Gather, you think, oh, this is only about hunting, and I'm just really excited about it, and I've been using it, and I love it a lot. So, and I love her. So, even if you're not a cooking aficionado, if you're just like me and you like food and you really get into eating, then I think that everybody who likes eating will love the cookbook.
This is my husband, Chris Lawley. When he first approached me about hunting, one of the first things he said was, you can't get scared up in the tree stand with the bees and the insects. You can't be afraid of the bears, and you can't wear your high heels up in the tree stand. I said, no, that's all true, but I can wear my heels shooting the bow. Again, above everything that we talked about a little earlier about hunting being a sport of meditation for me and bringing me closer to God, it also just, it makes me so happy to know that my husband has made me part of something that he loves. And this is a way that we can spend time together as a family. Now we will have someone else to be sharing the sport with. And this is my son Tristan. His middle name Hunter, some people call him Bo. Again, it's a sport that we can spend time together outdoors in God's creations and having fun. And then, you know, if I'm not hunting, I'm cooking. And if Chris isn't hunting, he's fishing. So.
Yeah. First, when I first started hunting, I didn't want to sacrifice any of my time, and you know, there were some growing pains getting my wife into hunting, but I would highly recommend to anybody out there that has a wife or a spouse or you know that is interested in hunting, you know, to give them a shot and to take them, because you know it's a great way to bond as a family. And you know, instead of looking at your watch wondering what time you're going to get home every day, you know, you're going to be looking at your watch and being like, I wonder if she's gotten out the stand already. I need to go look for her. And it's just a great family activity. Even though I had reservations when I first started off with getting her up in a tree, and it worried me, it was the best decision I ever made to expose her to my world and let her see, you know, what I did, and then let her make the decision that whether or not she wanted to do it. And from the first time that she went out, she absolutely fell in love with it.
Just like I did when I met you.
Yeah. And then soon you're going to be up there, buddy.